think it never really felt like work because I didn't know how to term it sometimes. But I'm from Montreal originally. I moved here to Durham in 2020, 2020, right in pandemic time. So I was home with my youth, my two children, for about almost 2 years. Always thinking, I got to find a remote job. I got to find a job to be able to support us and get through this period, because it was very strenuous. It was very challenging at that time during the pandemic. And I wasn't getting any jobs, and I didn't even realize that I was supposed to be home with them. I was supposed to be there nurturing them and growing with them and assisting them through the process. And that's what it was. I kind of had to look back and say, it is what it is. Like, God provided for you, and you were here, and you were able to be there for them. And it doesn't always happen in life in that way. So then, going backwards, living in Montreal, I ran a lot of programs out of the community center. One was job skills training, life skills training for youth that are usually not in work nor in school, kind of slipping their way through and probably have already fallen into a lot of the cracks of the system that they come from. And so they would come to my programs, and there I kind of knew that a lot of mental health was very important to speak to with these youth, because we wanted them to trust us. We wanted them to be in a space where they knew that if you're coming here to get the skills and acquire and attain all the things that we say that are good for you to continue on in your life, that you have to trust us first. So there was a mental health aspect of building that trust. And so I've always carried that with me in all the work that I do. It's just important for me to come from a place of love. And I think once they felt the love from me and from the colleagues that I worked with, it was really an open situation where they would allow us to give them the best of our best and what was good for us to share with them. And so that's pretty much the majority of the years that I worked in Montreal. I also worked with Indigenous youth from the Inuit culture. So they would come from Nunavik and come down to Montreal and be able to be in a rehabilitation center, and the other center I worked at was a detention center. And so that experience was great. I was blessed to be able to be surrounded by culture and tradition that was very much the foundation of how they lived their life. I appreciated that because I knew that there was no other way, like working with them and working alongside them and even bringing them to reintegrate back home to Nunavik was an experience that I would have not had in any other capacity. But it's added to who I am today. And so I should say I thank God that I was able to have these experiences. So now I live in Durham. I work for a community center called Durham Family and Cultural Center. So we have various programs, parenting programs, youth programs. We have a whole youth development team dealing with building self-esteem, anti-bullying programs. That's pretty much what our center is. More specifically, my program is called Restore, Reclaim, and Rebuild. So we call it R3 to be short. But I assist families, Black and racialized families, as they navigate through the youth justice system. So as I explained to congregation early this morning, it's pretty much any support that I can give, anything that they need of me, I try to offer that. So there's counseling with the families, the different dynamics that are going on while this youth in their family is now engaging with the law, having to go to court, having to have probation, having to follow conditions, can be very paralyzing with fear sometimes. And so the support system can look like anything. I've attended court with them. I've been able to assist them with understanding what the conditions are and how to abide by them and how to assist their youth and their child abide by them as well. So those are the various parts of my job, but it can look like anything on any given day. There's times where a youth will not come home after school and it becomes very urgent and very emergency related at the time. And then we work together. They call me and I don't have the initial and immediate answer, but I know what to do. And I always come from my heart. And I know that I have to hold space for them to be able to see that like everything's going to be okay. Let's just do the next step and the step after. So today I'm here to speak more on the Black experience in Durham. So I have families who, they engage in different situations, and it's challenging because a lot of it's their youth that engage in it, and their youth are vulnerable to them. To them, this is their little fragile person that they don't want to be exposed to a lot of the things that are going on in the world, but it happens. And so we have examples, like we have one youth, one of the families that I deal with, where he was in a situation, a bullying situation, and he said he had come to us and told us, from the beginning, the school knew because he alerted them that he's being bullied by this person. And it was only when he retaliated, and him himself is a Black youth and the bully was a white youth. And when he retaliated, that's when it became an urgency to the school. And so he didn't feel supported. He felt supported when it was a problem when he was doing something, but not a problem when it was being done to him. And that's the way he communicated, and that's the way he felt, and that was his experience. So we tried to support him in this. We started to support him and help him to understand that, we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward, and we're all going to learn how to do the better thing, to do the thing that you feel supported in, and that also everybody's getting a learning experience, which is integral. It's important. That's what we do. We're here as human beings. We're learning. We're always learning to get to the next opportunity, the next experience, whatever it may bring in life. So I think to continue on that, in those points, at this point, I think it was very interesting to hear a lot of anti-racism workshops that I've been doing, especially because it's Black History Month and we're engaging in a very serious time. But I know that also it's not only Black History Month that we have to be informed and educate ourselves. Like, this is a life process. And as this young lady, Salam Debs, she also does anti-Black racism workshops that you'll see in the bulletin and the announcements. She said that this work is not about helping, it is to be ethical, take accountability, and give reparations. And what this means is that we are beyond the helping stage in 2023. Change is the only option. So changing the way we see and say and do things, which is where we need to be going forward. A lot of experiences come up where we have white individuals who are extremely offended about the stand that Black people have taken when supporting their human rights. And to understand, it's probably good to sit with yourselves, to understand, like, what is the offense coming from? It's a flag to maybe look at yourself and decide, why? Why? Is there a fear? Is there misinformation? Is there misunderstanding? Self-awareness, lack of self-awareness. There are some of the feelings that can be unearthed when faced with these situations that we don't understand, and we've not embarked upon understanding them. And so in order to go forward, it is good to sit and to be able to have the chance to think about, like, what we're feeling. And I pretty much speak to all individuals. Anything that is new and anything that creates a fear or a shame or a guilt, any feelings that are unearthed that you've not visited before, it's a reason to look at what's going on. It's not to put it aside and not to really explore yourselves and understand, so where am I coming from? We're like, who am I in this situation? So it is natural for us to be our brother's keeper. God is love, and he made us to be caring and kind to others. God shows us how to be a keeper and what caring things do and what to do, what to think. And this I take from Matthew 25, verse 31 to 40. And to abide by this, it is integral to come from a place of love. Love will always permit you to be open, understanding, and unconditional. Today we heard earlier about Jesus and how he was transfigured and shone in glory. But Jesus also speaks of a future time when he will come in glory and gather us round. And then he will say, I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. I thank you all for having me here and allowing me to speak. I bless you all. God bless you all, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you. Thank you.